Okay, I had to stop this app video and so I can find the barrel. The barrel was in the box. So anyway, it comes with the blaze orange flash hider, muzzle brake, and you're definitely going to want to paint this. There is the two Phillips head screws, and then right on the other side of it is a grub screw. Now you'll undo these two screws and then remove the grub screw. So the inner barrel, here's the hop up chamber, and I put in a 715 millimeter inner barrel, a Bravo. Now, I think I've mentioned this before, but the inner barrel that comes with this runs about, it's an M4 length inner barrel, so you can imagine the length on that. Runs about halfway. This inner barrel runs just short of, just right about where the end of this flash hider goes into. So, putting this in, I had found that it's a lot easier when I'm installing the barrel, because you can either have it all set up with the barrel placed in and then twisted to lock, and then you'll have to, there is another grub screw right here. You'll have to tighten that down to lock in your outer barrel. What I've done is my barrel, entire barrel, stays permanent. I replace that grub screw with just a regular Phillips type screw, larger diameter, and I just basically leave the outer barrel in place because it's a pain. I don't want to mess up the hop up, mess up the chamber, because I've had it snag. So I found it a lot easier basically to pull the bolt to the rear, and then see if I can do this without breaking anything with this long barrel. So it will, when you're placing the barrel into the receiver, you don't want to place it like it's going to be sitting, because you'll have to twist it counterclockwise. So let me see if I can do this without screwing this up. On my M82, this little blaze orange buffer piece of plastic broke off. It was set in there with just glue. It does make it a little bit tighter for it to get in. I would probably just leave it. I'd probably leave it in. It's not going to hurt anything by leaving it in place. It just means you got more stuff to deal with. So let's see if I can get this in. And okay, so it locks in and twists. Okay, so now it's in place. It's locked in. At this point, when it's locked in, it's like where it's supposed to be. You would then tighten this grub screw down. Yeah, it looks like the little spacer here, little plastic washer, doesn't get in the way. But like I said, I would either drill it and then put a heavier one in, because it does turn. You can turn it. So if you're bumping into stuff as you're carrying, because trying to get this thing it's rather large. So if I stand up, my camera won't do it, but it right about to my chin, and I'm 6 foot tall. So otherwise, that's where I placed the hose. It seems to be out of the way, and a lot of people will run their hoses through the grip, but I don't know. You can play with it. I think this is the best place for it. I decided not to put the quick disconnect directly into the body, because I didn't want it to break off. I think it's just a lot easier to have it like it is. Like I said, I'm going to chrono it and see what it's running. I could not run .45 gram BBs because this magazine, the spring inside this magazine is too weak. So once you put them in with the speed loader, then the BBs jam. So I would use, I'm running 3 zeros, 3 5s. I haven't had any issues. Putting the magazine in, it's like an AK mag, and you just drop right in, and it's pretty tight. I mean, it's pretty snug. It does wobble a little bit, but this has not affected the BBs from loading or anything. So it's, remember now, the bolt is locked to the rear, so that's with no air. That's how it sounds. Now I've left all the other parts that came stock with the Lancer Tactical. I left in the box, and so if you decide that you don't want to run HPA, or if you have any issues in the future, you can always, it's very simple. You can just pull everything out and just run spring. But I don't think you're going to regret this. This is an amazing weapon. I've played for almost 20 years the sport, and so far this is the funnest rifle I've ever used. So anyway, like I said, it's lightweight, you know, one hand, but it's very, very, very intimidating. So anyway, I'm going to post this up on my YouTube channel. If anybody that doesn't understand why I'm posting this video and explaining why parts are in the box, this is a custom job for a friend. So, but I'm having the modification parts made to be able to convert, to be able to drop this Mancraft HPA system into the Lancer Tactical. And this one did not come with bipod, but it's specific M82 style bipod. And so I'm not sure when Lancer Tactical is going to be putting out the bipods, but just keep your eye open for that. I don't think that's going to be an issue without the bipod. You can put any kind of a bipod in there. It just takes a pin that runs through the center. You can just fabricate any kind of a pin to hold any kind of a bipod. I guess you could, if you wanted, you could remove this and then tap in a rail system on the bottom. That might work if you want to have a bipod that's not specific for the Barrett. I'm not sure exactly if this M82 is an actual one-on-one scale of the real deal, but I do know that on mine I was able to switch this out, the grip. You can change the grip. This is totally hollow because there's no motor in it. This is just, well, it was spring power. I was getting 400, 450 with the spring. I don't know how to lighten the spring pull down. It does have a bit of a, I mean, you do have to, you know, it's not bad. You can't use it. You can, I guess you can use your little finger to pull it. So I could measure the pound pull, but it's a lot easier than when it had the spring, when it was spring power. Now I've got the bolt to the rear, and I went ahead and put it on safe. So you can pull the trigger, and you can probably break it because everything is polymer. The trigger system, everything is polymer. And so I would not try to pull very hard on this. It does have a little bit of a flex to it. Even the trigger itself, even the trigger itself. I think the trigger might be some kind of a pot metal. But anyway, the I mean, the sound of the safety, the fire, is pretty crisp. It has a stop. You might want to zoom in the video, but right here is a little polymer stop that is on there, and you cannot go past that. You would have to Dremel that totally off. So that's your fire, and then put it on safe, and that's the only thing stopping the fire selector is just the upper part of the receiver, which sticks out. So there's no semi-auto, there's no full auto, it's not a gearbox, it's not electric. Remember, fire is straight up and down. It is not ambidextrous. I did notice that it's not ambidextrous. It is, I guess if you're left-handed, it's not a problem, but your fire selector is only on the left side. To remove this magazine, just use a trigger finger, push it in, and then just drop the magazine out. You can get airrattle.com has spare magazines right around $12 a piece. If you didn't want a speed load, just carry a speed loader with you. If you didn't want to reload your magazines on the fly, then you can pick up, I guess, half a dozen. But then you have to figure out a way where to put these. So it's just a lot easier for me to just carry extra speed loaders. So other than that, it is a very nice rifle. I had lots of fun putting this thing together. I would love to be able to have, if people want or are curious and don't really have the time to put one of these together, I'd be more than happy, more than willing to put these together. Just the parts and a little bit of labor, but I'm not a gunsmith. I'm a truck driver, and but it was fun, because it was the funnest part of this whole build was trying to fabricate the mounting system for the Mancraft drop-in kit. That Mancraft drop-in kit, the sniper drop-in kit, was designed for the A&K SVD. Now, the reason why I talk about the A&K SVD, because the A&K SVD and the Lancer Tactical M82 have almost identical internals, but the only difference is it's roughly about 1.5 inches distance. You would have to, the brass airpin tube rod, sorry about the searching for words, that the drop-in kit, the hole where the air comes out of to fill up the cylinder, is in the certain spot where that when you pull, if you were to mount this without making any modifications, and you were to pull the bolt back all the way to the rear, then you're going to have air leaking out of the cylinder, because the mounting spots on the Lancer Tactical M82 are too far back. So I had to run them all the way as close as I could to the trigger bolt release. And I had used a fiberglass, chunk of fiberglass with a couple of holes drilled in it. And the problem with that was pulling the bolt to the rear caused because we're just talking plastic, and I didn't have any way except for super glue to mount it. My rifle got the super glue, so I'm going to build a modification so that I can run that permanent. But so it does not leak. If it does leak, then it may just be using the gas systems, the O-rings with gas, warm and cold. You're going to need to put silicone oil silicone grease, just kind of maintenance. Once you pull off the cover to the receiver, the cover to this system, it just use regular hex style, wrenches, and just undo everything. And once you pull it out, and you'll remember how it goes back. It's very, very simple. Pull everything out, just spray it down, rub it down with some silicone oil, put it back together, and then you're ready to rock and roll. But like I said, I'm going to, as soon as the weather gets nice, it's snowing here. As soon as the weather gets nice, I'm going to try to make a video, and then I will have this shipped out. All right. Well, if you have any questions, just feel free to email me or just mention on the website, on the page. Thank you.